Thank you. Jerry, until this week, had anyone on your varsity known what a Nanook was?
You know, I think we do follow college hockey, but they have a YouTube presentation. It's on YouTube. Their introduction that it's got thousands of hits. But I saw kids that had seen that during the course of the year. Polar bear taking out campuses and taking out battles and stuff. I decided to show it to my grandson. He started crying. So I said, "Boy, that's probably not the thing to show." But we've had some film on them and watched them, but we were not very familiar with them. Usually out of the CCHA comes, you know, Michigan State, yep. Notre Dame, Miami.
Steve? Jerry, back here. The same question I asked Matt earlier. When you guys lost last year in the Hockey League tournament, you got some pretty good freshmen here, but yet walking off the ice that night, or maybe the next morning at home, how optimistic were you that in 2009, 2010, you'd be back at the top of college hockey, or near the top where you are right now?
You know, we've gone through that year. Nathan Gerby, of course, was our catalyst to win the championship, and he's turned pro, so it kind of, that affected our whole team that year, because you take away the most dynamic player probably in all of college hockey. So that particular year was kind of a struggle for us. But back of our minds, we knew we had an excellent freshman class coming in, and the returning players were capable of doing that, but we needed a good freshman class coming in, especially on defense, because with Nick Petrecki turning pro also, it was kind of, you know, 3 seniors and Nick, there was 4 slots open on defense. Tommy Cross has helped us coming back off the knee surgery, but we were a little concerned defensively, Steve, but I think that their contributions have been even maybe more than I thought they would be. That was the only real concern. I thought we'd come back, but we needed really good play from those defensemen.
Right here, second row.
Mike Mackin, College Hockey News. Coach, third period, you guys stayed out of the box. Did you talk about that compared to last week? Fairbanks tonight was able to get the power play going in the second, much like Maine did in the second period last week. You took penalties in the third period last week and it allowed Maine to get back in the game, but tonight you stayed out of the box in the third.
You know, prior to taking penalties, the other team has good chances, and you know, they're either quicker or they make plays where you get caught and you trip a guy or you hook a guy. We had some offensive zone penalties I thought were, you know, if you're going to take a penalty, it's got to be, I think, in the defensive zone. But it was 4 straight penalties that we took in the second period. And we almost survived the bullet there, but right at the end they scored. I think all teams that we play, we've got to be really conscious of playing very hard defensively, but trying to do it without fouling. You know, basketball, it's the exact same thing, but other teams sometimes makes good plays and we get kind of caught.
Coach back here. Same question I asked Matt Price. Can you just talk about play of John Muse?
I thought he was exceptionally strong tonight. Certainly, if I had to pick one reason why we're advancing, it's play of John Muse. He made some, you know, I'll see him on film again, but from the bench, some incredible saves. They make good plays, and they had some strong offensive grade A chances.
Nancy.
Hi, Jerry. It's Mary Peace from Boston Globe. Could you talk a little bit about the automatic goal? Have you ever been involved with one season?
No, I haven't. No, and actually I kind of forgot about it because all of a sudden it happens so infrequently. But then when the refs started talking with each other toward the bench, you know, I kind of remember that rule. It's never used. It's one of those. I think it's also if you knock the net off, someone, you know, the guy's going to wrap in a rebound and someone just takes the net off. But Matt was thinking about penalty shot. He was nervous.
Okay. Coach, how, like I said, Matt Lombardi, like I asked Pat and Matt Lombardi seems to have an important presence on the ice, especially these last 2 games. How important was his goal? And also, do you want to talk about the PK today?
Well, I thought last part of the question, I thought the PK was excellent. It really was. Matt's been on a really hot streak. He's creating some good offensive chances, and he's finishing, which he's never really showed during his career. So he's getting hot at the right time, that's for sure.
Is he still the last one out the weight room, like you said last
Oh yeah, he's incredible. His contributions to our team as a leader and a mentor way outweigh his goal scoring ability. But I like his goals.
Out here in the back.
Coach, first off, congratulations. Zach
Thank you.
Wilkes, the Heights. You can talk about the contributions of the fourth line. They really came in the third period, provided you a lift eventually, that game-winning goal from Pat. But can you talk about their contributions today?
My wife's always asked me, how do people say there's a fourth line? You know, which is, because we really do play a lot of lines, and sometimes we mix and match them, and the harder line plays more often. But I thought, you know, the last 7-8 minutes, I think we went to 3 lines, under 7 minutes. But I think Pat, Paul Keary, and Steve Whitney, they're good players, and they made some really good contributions. Say the winning goal from Pat. They work hard and they're developing. They're a lot better now than they were in, say, middle of January.
Radio John.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep,
Thanks. You know, Jerry, if you look at what Rochester does to Denver last night, I mean, how concerned do you have to be about a team that's never been here in the tournament before? You're a high seed. You're basically playing at home, getting stung by a team that has nothing to lose.
Yeah, we were very concerned because you know, the recent events now. Holy Cross beat Minnesota. You know, RIT beats Denver. Bemidji, you know, went to the Frozen Four last year. So, you know, I suspect it happens in basketball. Northern Iowa all of a sudden is advancing, but in our sport, you know, sometimes you're thinking, I'm getting to the national tournament, I'm going to play, you know, Michigan, I'm going to play North Dakota, I'm going to play.
Yes.
So your mindset is, you have to really look at films, and we showed films of Alaska, and they were really, really good in the films we showed, so that helped an awful lot.
Coach Dave Hendrickson, my question's a little bit like what John was saying, but in particular, your team, your program expects to be here every single year. This was the first time ever for their program, yet they didn't really seem to act like the rookie team that was just happy to be here. Did you feel as though there was still a poise advantage for you guys, or can you at least talk about Alaska's poise in playing you guys?
I thought they matched us, Dave. I don't think there was any stage fright in their players. I thought they were very good, and we feel, like I said, very fortunate that we're moving on. You know, it took a pretty good effort by us to get by Alaska, but I wasn't surprised with it. I think our players, like I said, they're used to the more traditional schools that when you play the national tournament, but it didn't take long to watch them play, and you know, like I said in film, or even in the game tonight, hey, these guys are pretty good.
Right on. Coach, congratulations, Brian O'Connor.
Thank you.
With all due respect to Yale, I'm not going to have a chance to see you after the Yale North Dakota game. I think it's uncanny how you guys keep running into each other in the NCAAs. So, looking ahead, how do you feel you match up against the Sioux?
You know, I'm not assuming anything, Brian. You know, I think Yale's coming off, you know, 2 very impressive years under Keith Elaine, where they've won titles, and they're certainly capable of advancing. So we're going in with an open mind as far as you know, who might we play tomorrow. The other part of the question is North Dakota. It is a unbelievable sequence of events. I think this is the 8th time that they're in our region, whether it be a Frozen Four region or right in you know, one of the sites here, the regional sites. But you know, I think if we expect to be here, you know, we're probably going to see teams like that most every year. But that's going to be a hard game to handicap. I really think that next game coming on now.
Coach Danny Martin from the Fairbanks Daily News Miner. Could you just tell me about the mood in your locker room after the second period? I mean, with a 1-1 tie.
You know, it's like all our recent NCAA tournaments. You're right to a point where, you know, if you lose the game, you go home. They take away your sticks, and you know, we all love to play hockey and love to coach hockey. So we're part nervous, part anxiety, part hey, we got to play very well this period to advance. So there's probably a mixture of emotions. We certainly we want to win games and we want to advance, but you know, to do that, you have to play hockey, and I don't think you can play that holding your breath. You got to go after it. But we were in a battle. We understood that. Coaches didn't have to tell them that.
All right, time for